Shalom, Yasharala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you to say truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHIM, Rakakwadash. The honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And citation and much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So real quick, I just want to make a real quick video dealing with the times that we in right now as far as the new norm, all right? Because you're starting to see, the face mask situation being pushed as far as a, they're trying to go for a mandatory, everybody wearing these face masks, all the time. They have certain places or whatever, whatnot, where they're starting to push, like, yo, you got to have a face mask in here, People are looking at people weird for not having face masks on or whatever, whatnot, and, people are walking around as if, some people are walking around laughing at people as if it's something strange, like, they look stupid with these masks on, and hey, but nevertheless, this is coming into a new norm. This is a new reality, man. All right, this is what the so-called new world order is starting to look like, man. All right, and it hadn't set into some people's minds yet that this is a transition right now, man. You have some people that still think that this will just blow over. We're gonna get back to what we was doing. This is just a little rough patch right now, and in a couple of weeks everything will be back to normal. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing, And some people are just like, well, we'll just hunker down for now, and hey, we'll get back to it. But nevertheless, this is the new norm right now. This is the new America right now, the new way of life, man. All right, and people are gonna have to start adjusting to these things. All right, but nevertheless, like I said, it's gonna just be a real quick lesson. I want to just grab a couple things real fast. We're gonna start here in the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 10. It says, asking about the times of when the Lord is gonna return. Right? It says, then he said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places. In which, we've been seeing these earthquakes that's been popping off, all over the world. The numbers are increasing, Nevertheless, and you just had one, I believe, last or earlier this week or something like that, in which this is a horrible time for so-called natural disasters to be happening in the midst of all these things, in a so-called regular worldly sense, like you have the tornadoes that just hit Midwest, all right, in the midst of the coronavirus situation now. Just imagine that, there's a tornado that rips through something, and then, the rescue people or whatever, whatnot, they got to go through and, start searching for people, whatever, whatnot. You don't know who's infected, who's not infected, or all these different things. So this is putting even more fear into the minds of these, the emergency personnel or whatever, whatnot, So, this is, like I said, not a good time for all these things. This is just stacking more on top of more, more tribulation on top of more tribulation. And as we starting to see, these tribulations are mounting up, man. Because you have the coronavirus right now where everybody's afraid of being sick. But then you also had an economic collapse and nobody's working right now, man. All right. Which is driving people to what? Being depressed. All right. Driving people to suicide. All right. Then you also have, people being locked down in their homes, all right, with their families for the first time, can't quite get out, and so you also have that mounting on the back of people's minds. So you have all these different things that are just mounting up at the same time, tribulation on top of tribulation on top of tribulation. It's like, it's just stockpiling, all right? Continuing on, it says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence, and also, hey, man, going into the grocery store, you'll see, first of all, with this whole coronavirus situation popping off, it was hard, it still is kind of hard to find a lot of food and things like that on the shelves. The shelves are stocking up a little bit more now, but still yet, when you look at a lot of these prices of the food is actually starting to go up slightly, and, this is also going on in the midst of what, people not being able to work, all right, people not really getting no money coming in, even though that, the government has the stimulus packages going out where people are getting some money, but this little bit of money is not going to be able to sustain these folks, man, all right, you're looking at a whole new, almost like a socialism system, man, all right, like a nationwide welfare program, all these people talking about, especially these Edomites talking about, oh, well, y'all are just, welfare queens and food stamp babies or whatever, whatnot. You're like, well, what do you think y'all are doing right now, man? All right. And this is in the time of crisis, man. All right. So now Esau is being put into a position now where he has to live like how Jake is. And which is also beautiful, the fact that, when you look around, for the most part, Jake is the one that's still working, man. All right. And they would always laugh and look at us at certain things or whatever. Whatnot. Oh, these just some niggas. This nigga just work at the gas station. This nigga just work at the Walmart. Oh, he just a nigga that work at the Walmart. Well, guess what? Those are the only niggas that's working right now, man. All these Edomites that was in these corporate offices or whatever, whatnot, making a 6-figure income year after year after year for just sitting in their office, drinking a little coffee, and, doing nothing really. You know what I'm saying? If you ever been in those type of scenarios or whatever, whatnot, you realize that the people up on top, they be dumb as hell. They just sit there and pretend like they look like they know what they're doing. They got their little outfit on, drinking their little coffee, typing on the keyboard like they're actually doing something, and then start delegating tasks. Like, hey, go do this, go do that, go do this, and go do that, But now they're realizing that their job wasn't really essential, man. This is also adding to the depression, They're like, wait a minute, I'm not important right now. These niggas at the gas station is more important. No, you starting to see now. Esau's being put into this place, in this position, all right? His natural position, man. He's the basis of men, man, all right? But nevertheless, not getting too far off topic, but just saying to add all that to, the things that's going on, man. It's just a great tribulation going on all sides. But guess what? It's going to get 10 times worse, man, all right? But it says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, famines and pestilence. Obviously, we got this COVID situation popping off, and plus they talking about extra strains popping up, and other viruses also popping up, man. All right, and you have, like I said, these people are pushing for a mandatory face mask all the way around, and also having apps and things like that to track hot spots or whatever, whatnot. They talking about putting these checking your temperatures before you start going into certain places or whatever, whatnot, ultimately, predictively programming you for what? The day of the RFID chip, man. All right, you're not going to be able to go inside of stores and stuff like that. Say if you have the chip, like you can read in the book of Revelation, man. All right, you're not going to be able to buy or sell, but as you can see now, they even have some places or some jobs you can't even go in there without getting your temperature checked, man. All right, so it says, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. And they actually was just talking about some meteorite that was supposed to be coming past the earth really close, I believe this week or next week or something like that. Continuing on, let me just, let me read this too. Verse 12, but before all these they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you and deliver you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. We also understand that this is what's coming up next, that great persecution, man. All right, you already see it now where, we was at camp last week, and then, doing camp, some Edomites roll by and they scream out the window, social distancing. You'll have people that'll start pointing us out, where's your mask at? Where's your mask at? Because why? And really, you don't have to be not to say a pain in Esau's ass or whatever, but you don't have to necessarily push him to his limits or nothing like that. But nevertheless, hey, some things, all right, cool, we got you. But nevertheless, and that's not trying our faith. We got faith. We good. You know what I'm saying? It's not that in the situation, but like we have to be a wise as serpent and harmless as doves, man. We have to be sheep among these wolves out here, man. All right. So give me a second. Give me 1 second. But nevertheless, continuing on, we have to sit here and watch how Esau is moving, because like something that I wound up saying at camp is like, yo, you'll be able to tell who is going to take the chip based off of these people that's just running and buying the mask or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And then now you're going to start seeing the people that's going to start persecuting you. Like they say, your own household should be basically your enemies, But nevertheless, looking at that, you have, you may be living with relatives or your wife or something like that, and she's panicking and flipping out because, oh, you going to camp, you're going to be around people, or, oh, like, we always got to leave. You need a mask. You're going to get us all sick or whatever, whatnot, just because they lack faith, because they lack faith, they want to bring it out on you, They want to be like, oh, you're going to get us all sick, this, and that, And then in your mind is like, wait a minute. First of all, Lord willing, I be a part of that number to be delivered up out of here. Be like, yo, man, you got a hedge around you. You like, y'all straight right now because of me, And I see that, and it was funny is, as a real personal testimony, it's like, yo, I got a little bit of family in town right now, but, dealing with them, they're like the same way. They're like, oh, they flipping out about this whole thing, right? And it's like, wait a minute, time out. When you go look in the refrigerator, we got an issue with the food in the refrigerator, right? We got a problem that we got too much food. We got to cook all this goddamn food because we got too much food, all right? We got too much toilet paper. We can't even put the toilet paper nowhere, nothing like that, right? And a lot of this ain't even been bought, It's just people just been giving out, been giving me certain things, at my job. A lot of my customers or whatever, whatnot, is sending me home with a fuckload of toilet paper and paper towels and food and things like that. So we straight on those ends, like, yo, if anything, you know, we got an over an abundance of things like that, man. All right. You know, I'm still able to go to work and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Everything is all cool, you know, and I also, you know, with the scriptures, you know how the scriptures is supposed to be the comforter. All right. We can, you know, there's things in the scriptures that can comfort you in these times like that, man. Instead of you flipping out, not knowing what's going on or whatever, whatnot, you know, you'd be in a way worse case, you know. But then you want to look at me as if I'm the enemy or something like that, or if I'm gonna give you the virus or something like that. Like, nah, man, we got faith in this thing, man. But this is the new norm, man. And these people are gonna be the ones that are gonna be more than likely try to call the cops on you or whatever, whatnot, man. Oh man, my son is going out here. He always going out downtown or whatever, whatnot, to go preach, and he's always with these other people or whatever, whatnot. They don't be wearing no mask or whatever, whatnot, you know. Always leaving and this and that. But guess what, man? We not the ones that's getting sick and nothing like that, man. All right, we the ones that we know what's going on, man. We and our countenance is a lot. How you say? We're not in no sorrowful state of mind right now, man. All right. Let me just let me read verse 13. It shall turn to you for testimony. Hey, you just heard it. You see what I'm saying? You just heard it. You know. Let me just jump down to verse. Where is it? Oh, verse 25. It says, there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity and the seas and the waves roaring. All right, now this great perplexity, let me, yeah. And the great perplexity situation, you know, you have all these problems where they don't know how to so-called solve them. It's just problems everywhere. That's why you see a so-called, well, we know Esau's behind it all, but there's a global shutdown. You know, you have the so-called regular-minded people just like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What's going on? People, that, again, they're committing suicides because they don't know what's going to happen with their mortgage, their jobs, if they're going to come back, they didn't got laid off. You know, people who's been at a job for 15, 20 years or whatever, whatnot, getting laid off, they don't know what's going on. You know, they didn't basically got ran up on like a thief in the night, man. Basically, you just walked into your house, you've been living in your house, happy home, everything, big, nice house, big screen TV or whatever, whatnot. Everything is all fine and dandy. You love your house and everything like that. You went out to eat, took your wife out to a fine and dine restaurant, and you came home, and you walked in the house, and you realized your whole shit is gone on the inside. Everything is gone. You're just like, what the fuck happened? Everything was all good, but then now this, you know, like a thief in the night took everybody, man. People was working and living their life, and everything was all good on vacation. All right, then all of a sudden they came back, and now they stuck, man. All right? But just going into this here new norm, let me see, where is that? Yeah. But going into this here new norm, this is what you have to understand, that America's not going to go back to what it was before, man. Even if let's say today we can all go back out in public, man. People are going to be afraid to be around each other or whatever, whatnot, man. You cough out in public or whatever, whatnot, you're liable to get stomped out. And I'm talking about after all this so-called blows over, man. All right, you going inside the store, if you don't want to sanitize everything when you walk in, people look at you all weird. If you're not wearing gloves and a mask, people look at you all weird. They're like, well, you never know. A virus like the coronavirus can come back again or whatever, whatnot. Not saying that, you know, it can't or whatever, whatnot, because we know that the Most High is bringing all these plagues upon the earth. But nevertheless, this is the mindset that these people are being predictively programmed, you know? And ultimately, it's going to turn them against us, man. All right, because we walking and living by faith. And they were walking by their own flesh, but now the Lord took the power out of their own hands and basically brought them all down low, man. All right, so this is Jeremiah 51. I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, all right, which Babylon is America, man, all right? It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand and made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. You know, and all these other nations followed after the philosophies or whatever, whatnot of America, whatever, whatnot, and now they're, how do I say, they're angry and upset because of these things, you know? It says, we would have, Salak, verse 8, but Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. All right, and that's what happened here in America, man. Babylon is suddenly fallen, man. I remember right when this here thing started popping off, man, one of the brothers in the camp sent us this little picture of these damn Edomites with their little gas mask on having a party and laughing and joking about the coronavirus. These are probably the same Edomites that's committing suicide and very depressed right now, man. Everything was all good, but guess what? She's suddenly fallen, man. All right. It says we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go up every one into his own country, for her judgment has reached unto heaven. She is lifted and is lifted up even to the skies. All right. So basically, this is what you also seeing going on right now. You know, especially with a lot of the businesses and things shutting down, a lot of trade and everything is leaving up out of here. These companies that's not from here leaving out of here. People who had jobs over here on visas or come to this country to work after everything shut down. They're like, fuck it, I'll just go back home if I can, you know. But nevertheless, this is the new norm, man. Babylon is not going to be coming back to the full swing like you've seen it before, man. You know, they already debating how they're gonna do restaurants or whatever, whatnot. Like, well, you know, can we all just go and sit down at, like, let's say a Golden Corral where you can have an all-you-can-eat buffet and all these people just sitting around or whatever, whatnot? How safe is that gonna be? You know, but this is the new norm that we coming into, man, and people have to get adjusted to these things, man. But yet they getting adjusted, you know, fine and dandy right now, because you got these people right now policing everybody else, like, where your mask at and where's this at and that at, man. All right. I just want to touch on that real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, all praise unto Yahawah, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash, double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And citation of much love for you, I can push in this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.